I am Kathy Perlmutter and I'm a quilter. Sometimes I get tired of making quilts and I need to make something fast, fun, and small, and this fits the bill. This is an introduction to my book, Spontaneous Stuffies, Easy, Improvisable Standing Animals from Precuts, Charms, Scraps, and Jeans. If you're watching this video, you've either bought it or you're thinking about buying it and ready to watch a lesson. The 41-page book offers a unique method for creating small standing animals between 4 and 8 inches high. If you can sew a straight stitch on a machine like my old featherweight, you can do this. Along with a sewing machine, you'll need between 2 and 4 pins. Seriously, you will rarely need more than 2, and 4 is almost too many. You will also need stuffing. I like Polyfill by Fairfield because it's widely available and inexpensive. I buy a bag of it. Fabrics, you'll need probably 2 per animal, one for the main sides, the big sides, and then another contrasting fabric for the gussets, which will go on bottom and possibly on top. You'll need quality sewing machine thread, and you can use the same thread to shut the turning gap. And then the one thing you may not have yet is a hemostat. This is a curved jaw serrated hemostat, 5 inches. There are many kinds, and this is the kind I like. This is a drawing. The jaws have little serrations. This is an actual photo. You can't quite see the curve, so I had to draw it. And this expresses my love for it. They're very inexpensive. It's the best $5 to $15 you'll ever spend. They're essential for turning animals right side out after you've sewn the pieces together, and for pushing stuffing into the areas where you want it. The hemostat makes a difference between these projects being frustrating and slow and being fun and fast. You'll also need the usual sewing supplies like an iron and scissors, one for fabric and one for paper. This process is intended for use with sturdy fabrics, especially quilters' cottons. This is a great way to use scraps or precuts like fat quarters or charm squares. The smallest animals can be made from 5-inch or larger charm squares. If you're not a quilter, you may be wondering, why do we call them charm squares? My theory is that these little treasure packs charm you out of your money and you can't help buying more than you can possibly use, so now we're going to use them. Here are 2 charm squares that would be good candidates for stuffed animals because they have small motifs. And here are 2 elephants made from Kaffe Fassett charm squares. And here is a finished cat, and you can see he's less than this 4-inch ruler. I also love novelty prints, and these are some of my favorite creatures. Nuts the squirrel, made from a mixed nut fabric. This is a quoll, which is a sort of Australian rodent, made from Jane Austen fabric. There's a teddy bear and a dog made from Asian influenced fabric, which I love, and a giraffe made from African fabric because giraffes are from Africa, so it's geographically correct. If you're an upcycler, you can use jeans, t-shirts, or other garments. I started making these animals from used jeans. T-shirts also work beautifully, and they don't need any interfacing or any special stitches or special treatment. You can just cut and sew it the same way as any other fabric. It's particularly fun to embellish the animals that are made from solid fabrics or jeans with embroidery, buttons, and or beads. But if you're making a gift for a baby, skip the hard embellishments and stick to embroidered eyes and other features to keep the baby safe from choking hazards. You would not give a baby a project with any buttons on it at all. My patterns are very different from other stuffed animal patterns. There are no notches to cut out and match, and virtually all of them are just one pattern piece. The pattern may have 1 or 2 lines on it, a head gusset and a bottom gusset. The bottom gusset will give a 2-legged pattern, 4 legs, and the head gusset will give a 1 ear or 1 horn pattern, 2 of them. These gussets look tiny and impossible to install, but believe it or not, you will never have to cut out that tiny shape and try to pin it with a zillion pins in position. Instead, you're simply going to sew on the line of the animal, and this piece will basically shape and install itself. There's no need to take notes on this or other videos because the booklet takes you through every step of construction. Once you understand the concept, you can make any of the 38 full-size patterns. Along with the species you've already seen, dogs, cats, giraffes, and squirrels, there are also standing bears, camels, one hump or two. I learned writing this book that a two-humped camel is called Bactrian, and it's very furry. You can make elephants, horses. This one has a crocheted mane, unicorns, rabbits, perfect for Easter, rhinos, rodents, seals, whales, and down here, a mother kangaroo with its baby Joey. The baby Joey does not stand up. It's very tiny. And this is probably the most complicated design in the book because of the pattern for the Joey and a little square pocket. Otherwise, the kangaroo, like everything else, has one pattern piece. Plus, there's a section on how to design your own animals. These projects are ideal for collaborations with a child who's too young to sew on a machine. They can draw the animal and you can bring it to life. You'll wind up with a one-of-a-kind creature that's weird, adorable, and out of the box. I strongly suggest you start with one of the simplest projects, a hippo, large size, because large is easier than small, and it only requires one gusset on bottom. You can also call this a pig if you prefer. The big broad side makes it a wonderful canvas for embroidery. If you don't already have the pattern book, you can download it immediately from my Etsy shop or other vendors, and at the same time buy a hemostat from an Etsy vendor. One of them who sells a hemostat that I like is Jewels and Tools Plus. The large hippo is so easy that you will be able to turn and stuff it without the hemostat. I wouldn't try turning or stuffing any other creature until you get the hemostat. Print out the pattern on page 31 of the book and cut out the large size from the paper. Then you'll go to chapter 1 and start sewing. If you have any questions at all, please write to me at kathyperlmutter@gmail.com. My website with more information is kathyperlmutter.com, and I'd love to meet you on Instagram at kathy.perlmutter. So enjoy and let me know if you have any questions.